Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, it's Major Key Boxing. A little different voice tonight. You got Troy Graham holding it down. Major Key's a little under the weather, but he's still here, family. And tonight we have a legend, and that's a word that's thrown around a lot in this era. But when it comes to this man, he's actually a legend. He's a three-time. If I'm wrong, then they know he'll correct me. He's a three-time world kickboxing champion, if I'm correct. And then he
Five,
transitioned,
five
huh?
times.
5 times. See that? 5 times, 5 time
Yeah.
world kickboxing champion. And then he made the transition to boxing, and he became a 2 time world champion. And I believe
Yes, sir.
he's thrown the most punches in one fight or something like that. Troy. Okay,
Well, in
before I introduce
1992, I
him, his
fought
name
Kevin
is
Kelly,
yeah,
and
his name
I
is
fought
Troy Dorsey. Yeah, yes. Troy Dorsey is here tonight. He's the only man that came from the martial arts world as a champion and became a champion in boxing. So everybody stand up and give this man a clap and a bow and show him some respect. We got Troy Dorsey here tonight, y'all.
well,
How you
praise the
doing?
Lord for anything that I did that was good.
Yes, sir. Now I could remember you, man, because you're very humble. Because I know when I picked up the phone and called you, the first thing you asked me is, "Why am I reaching out to you?" Which actually threw me off my game, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you don't meet a lot of humble people in this game, but that threw me off. And I said to myself, this man came from the martial arts world, which is very difficult because his stance in boxing and everything else is different, right, Troy?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Pretty
Pretty much.
much, yeah. And then you came over here and you set the boxing world ablaze with your fights with Kevin Kelly and what is the? I keep getting his name wrong. What's his name? The clown. The clown. He came from the
Mario
circus.
Paez. Mario Paez.
Paez, yes, Paez. And you and him had some incredible fights, which you're going to talk about because I don't want to talk about it, but you're going to talk about. But go ahead and tell us about that transition from the martial arts world into boxing.
Hey, Troy. Troy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, matter of fact, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I started kickboxing when I was 15 years old, and then I started boxing and I started training at a boxing gym in 1982. I was training
Mm-hmm.
with not with Donald Curry, but at the same gym he was working out in, and Stevie Cruz and Gene Hatcher and Rockin' Robin Blake, and I saw those guys, and they're making a lot more money than I was making in kickboxing. So I started kickboxing in '79 and pro kickboxing in '81, '85. I went to boxing because I thought these guys are making a whole lot more money than I'm making, and I love fighting. So if I only would have switched for the money, it would have been no good because you can't just fight for the money. You got to be a decent fighter. You got to be willing to put down the work and train. And so they're just making all this kind of crazy money, and it was doing what I love to do, and that's fight.
Okay. Okay. And let me see if I get my years right. Did you win your first boxing championship in 1990 or was it 91?
91, 91, June 3rd, 1991. About 5, 6 o'clock, I was fighting. I fought a Jorge Paez twice. Once was to a split decision loss, controversial split decision. And someone said when people send me fan mail, they say I saw that fight with Jorge Paez. They said, or they reached out to me on Facebook and they said that I got ripped off. Anyways, I don't know why I said that, but it's just what. So and then
Yes, because it's true,
then I
Troy.
fought
Because it's
him.
true.
I fought him to a draw, and then the following year I was the number one contender in the world. So they set a fight up with me and Alfred Ron Hill. He was the number 2 contender, and I fought him at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Knocked him out in the first round, 2 minutes 37 seconds in the first round. So that's when I won that title in boxing, and that became the first person in ever to win a world title in kickboxing and boxing, hold them at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He made history. Now, before I pass you on to Brother Marq Nash, I want to introduce Coach Malachi is here, and I'm sure he has a few questions. But Marq Nash is gonna is going to speak to you now, and I'm sure he has some questions for you. And again, thank you for coming on, man. We definitely appreciate your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be a guest.
For sure. Yes, indeed. How you doing today, champ?
Oh, I'm doing great, sir.
God
Doing
bless
great.
you. Mr. Dorsey, let me start off by, first of all, again, thank you again for your time. Let me ask you this. Why fighting? I always like to ask combat veterans such as yourself or former champions or even guys on the way up. Why fighting? You could have did anything. You could have flipped pizza, but you chose to punch people and kick people in the face for a living. And you also are punching, and I mean, you're also getting kicked and punched back. It's not an easy career choice. Why did you choose to pick up fighting?
Well, I started karate in 1974. Oh, I like that guy's shirt. Big Jesus across the front of his street, in front of his shirt. Is that Jesus or is it Jesus?
Jesus, Jesus. Jesus,
I see
Jesus.
somebody's. Okay. Okay. I thought you thought Christ because I love Jesus Christ. So,
Yes, sir.
anyways, why did I fight? I started karate in 74. My dad put us in a karate tournament 2 weeks after we started karate, and I won second place, and I got hooked from then. And then I have two brothers, and we kept competing, and I didn't win nothing. My brother, youngest brother, would win a lot of times first or second. My middle brother, would win. He would place all right. Also, me, I went for a long time without nothing. And so in 1979, I started kickboxing. I just fell in love with fighting that much more in kickboxing. So that's I just love. It's not that I love to fight. I don't like to street fight, and rarely been in a street fight. And it's I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just something that I felt like the Lord here put me to do, and so that's why I did it, because I loved it and I enjoyed it, and I really miss it a lot. I've retired in 1998. Here we are. That's many years. 2000, what is it, 20 something years ago. Anyways, it's been at times very difficult to watch fights on television, especially UFC, because I was a karate fighter and I started doing jiu-jitsu after I retired from boxing, and I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I love that. So I'd love to do some UFC fighting, but at 58 and plus, my wife, even if I'm 38, she's not gonna let me do it.
Yeah. Unless you're doing one of those exhibition fights, I don't want you out. I don't want to see you out there with those young guys, champ, taking that kind of punishment. You don't deserve it. You you don't deserve to get beat up like that against some young guys. But
those YouTube fights, huh?
Right. But look, hey man, they got a lot of throwback fighters coming back. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing you do something like that. My next question before I pass it to Coach Malachi would be and this is just random. We're gonna come back around. We got another round of these questions. Hey, Olympic hope for Sha'Carri Richardson recently popped for marijuana and her after her Olympic trials. How did you deal with anxiety, stress, or coping with any kind of adversity you was going through before you had a big match? Because I'm sure everybody gets the butterflies, everybody's nervous. How did you deal with it? And also, two-part question: how do you feel about marijuana being legalized in combat sports or sports period?
Well, I don't see how marijuana is going to help you anyway, in any form. To I don't know. Like you said, I never thought about that. Doing it to relax me, and but I don't think it is a plus for an athlete to do marijuana. I don't know a lot about marijuana. I just know that it's not going to help you. It's not going to help your being fit or getting in shape, or before, during, or after. I don't know how it could help you. I'm against drugs. I started doing drugs in '81, cocaine and speed, and I would do those between my fights. So I'd stop doing that 6 8 weeks before my fight, and then when the fight was over, the party was on. And I'm so fortunate that I didn't kill myself or didn't OD, I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't know, the Lord just had a hedge of protection around me, and some of the crazy stuff that I did, drinking so much and doing so much of that kind of stuff, that he brought me through it. And I'm still here talking and walking and with the decent
Froze
amount
up.
of marbles in my head left over. I had 68 fights. That's a another part of that is my wife and I've been married in September. We've been married for 35 years. So she went through the hard time. She took care of our kids, and so she's been through the good time, the bad time, the sad time, and she's been right there with me through all of through all of my fights. And now I have a business. I started my club business. October will be 40 years. So in my life, I've been doing martial art, not Wing Chun, just pretty much.
All right, he had a little technical difficulty. He should be back in a second, y'all. I should be back in a second.
In the meantime, how you doing, Coach Malachi?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing real good. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's always good. It's always good. Good to see you over here. Yeah, man. If y'all just tuning in, make sure y'all smash the like button. If you have over 1,000 subscribers, that means you are able to share this. Please share it. In the meantime, let me share it myself. I'm also doing a simulcast on my show. Shout out to everybody who's watching the simulcast on my channel and the backup page, and also watching on Facebook and other platforms. So we're waiting to get 5-time world kickboxing champion, Mr. Dorsey back, and 2-time boxing world champion. I believe he won the IBO and the IBF. There he is. We got him back.
What happened?
There you go. There you go. Nah, you just fell off for a minute, Troy. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't take a commercial or anything. I just I don't know what happened. Okay, so what were we talking about?
I believe you answered it. You said you're not you don't support drugs, and you did a lot of hard drugs at one point.
Sir.
And so how did you cope with anxiety and stress? I think that was the other part of the question, and then we'll go to Coach.
Well, I just learned how to relax and try to just have a good friend of mine named Raymond McCallum. He talked to me. He spoke to me often about relaxing when you're fighting. It doesn't really make sense how you can relax when you're fighting, but you definitely got to relax when you're fighting. Otherwise, you're going to be so tired you're not going to be able to go 2 or 3 rounds. So you got to be in the moment, but at the same time you got to control your feelings, and you got to just relax and hit the target.
Fair enough. Coach Malachi, it's on you. Then back to Troy Graham.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Dorsey? Can you hear me, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. I'm blessed, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. I have some very interesting questions for you.
I'm sorry.
Malachi Williams from New Media Today, USA Boxing, and I have a podcast on YouTube as well. I wanted to know, how were you able to make the transition from from martial arts to boxing? Because you don't see, I like what Conor McGregor did when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Myself, I think he did pretty good, being that he wasn't a boxer. But I just wanted to know, you're kind of like one of the pioneers of this stuff, to be honest with you. No one really wasn't doing that back then when you decided to throw your hat in the ring to box. How was you able to make that transition from a mental standpoint and physical standpoint?
Well, it's a little bit of distance that you got to work on. The distance is different. And also, I had some good people around me. Like I said, my wife supporting me, my parents. And actually, I felt like kickboxing is more difficult than boxing. I may take some heck for that, but kickboxing is much more difficult than boxing because not only are you kicking, it takes a lot more energy and a lot more power, a lot more know how to kick than it does to punch. So you got to watch, but also you got to watch out for getting kicked. I got kicked in the sternum one time. I was throwing a straight right hand, and guy did a jump turn kick, cracked my sternum. I was on the ground, and boy, I remembered. I think I was 16, 17 years old. That's been 40 years ago plus, and I remember going through that. But anyways, I felt like the Lord gifted me with the talent to fight. So I figured I wanted to make as much money as I could for my family. So I started boxing, and like I said, you can't just do it for the money. But I was fighting anyways. Might as well fight doing boxing and make more money for my family.
Right. So I noticed. No, go ahead. So I'm sorry.
You cut it out on me.
Can you hear me now?
Well, I said I have a daughter, Kendra, and yes, sir, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I have a daughter that's 32 years old. I had my first grandson about 3 weeks ago, and then my daughter's my youngest daughter going to have a baby this Wednesday. They're inducing labor. I got Kendra. My lady took me through all this. She's been with me through the good time and the hard and sad times. I know I took a lot of how I trained. I took a lot of that out on my wife. So I'm very fortunate. I had a wife that stuck with me.
Congratulations. Yeah. I don't know if has it froze up.
No, go ahead, Coach.
Okay. All right. So I have one more question. You had like 30 fights, 30 professional fights, and I see you had like 33 martial arts kickboxing fights, matches, right? So I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I never kickboxed before, but it does look like it's very, very difficult because you have to prepare for more than just punches, kicks, just everything in general. So how was the conditioning and training different for kickboxing versus boxing?
Oh, I did the same amount of training, pretty much the same number of rounds, same number of running, same number of running. I just did lots of kicks when I was kickboxing. The second time I fought for world title in kickboxing, I lost that fight, and it was because I was depending on my boxing skills. You can't just be a boxer and win. I mean, sometimes you can do that, but you have to work on. It's called kickboxing because that's what they do. We kicked and we boxed, and I felt so sure that I was doing that. My hands were good enough. I could beat the kickboxer with my hands. But I lost that fight because the timing is different, the distance is different, so much is different. So after that, it taught me a good lesson. I did when I was training for kickboxing, I did lots of kicks. I do 1,000 kicks a day usually, train and lots of boxing, but kicking and boxing together. So that was the deal.
So you said you did 1,000.
It is a different distance. It's a different cutting. You can't. Yes,
okay,
sir.
so you said
1,000 kicks a day was part of my regimen for my training when I was getting ready for a kickboxing.
Man, that's a lot. So, okay, I'm just like someone like me. I never kickboxed before.
I'm sorry, we're not getting very good reception.
Yeah, yes, sir. Hey, Troy, we're not getting a good reception at all.
Okay, well, can you hear me, Troy? Troy. Hello?
Sir.
Okay, I was just checking if you can hear me. Go ahead, Coach, and see if he can hear you.
Yeah, no, what it is, it's just a delay. It's a delay.
It's a delay?
Okay. All right. So what I wanted to ask was like someone like me, right? I've never kickboxed before in my life. But I'm right-handed. But I boxed for 5 years, so of course I lead with my left hand. How do you take a person who's never kickboxed before, and let's say they are strong on one side, let's say they're right-handed or right leg dominant or whatever. How do you get that person to learn how to do kicks with the left leg? I always wanted to know that.
Did you hear him, Troy?
Yes, the delay. He can.
All right. Troy. Hello? I don't think you can hear us.
I'm sorry, you broke up on me. How do I get a person?
Okay, there you go. There you go.
No, I was saying, how do you get a person to someone who is used to kicking with the left leg, or let's say someone is used to kicking with the left leg. How do you train them to learn how to kick just as fluid with the right leg?
Yeah, it's freezing up. You'll come back in a second.
I heard you sing here, but
why don't you log off, Troy, and then call back in real quick to see if that fixes the problem?
Right.
Okay.
Good question, though, Coach Malachi. Very good question.
Yeah.
Especially,
I don't want to assume this is very similar to like boxing, because in the gym, I know my coach. Shout out to Coach Tommy Brooks, Detective Tommy Brooks. He passed away. He
rest in peace.
They have you. They of course they teach the basics, the footwork, step with the jab, put your hand behind your back, and we just gonna work this one in. Like they started with that, then okay, now put it up here on the chin, and it's just repetition after repetition after repetition after repetition, and just they drill it in your head, and you get slapped across. It's a lot, but I just want to know, was it similar to kickboxing that way as well? Like how do they?
All right. You should be coming back on in a second. All right, Troy, how you doing this time? Can you hear everybody?
Okay, I'm back now.
Okay, my question was.
I'm sorry, it just went off for some reason now, but now I can.
Okay, great. So my last question is, how do you take a person who is, let's say a person is right-handed, so he's going to do everything with his right hand or right leg. How do you take that person and train them to get used to doing kicks with the left leg?
It's just like a jab. It's just like a jab or a hook. The jab takes a lot of work because it's your left hand, and the left leg is your weak side. So you just got to work on doing repetition over and over and over. Working. I've heard that it said that repetition is the father of excellence. So lots of kicks with that front leg. Lots of jabs, lots of hooks with that left. I knocked out boxing opponents with the left hooks and boxing opponents. So it's lots of. I can't hear you now.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything. I was just listening.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Mr. Dorsey. If you're talking wherever you were sitting at when you first started, or however you was positioned, that was perfect. I don't know what changed since then. We're losing you now, champ. Can you hear me? Can you hear anybody, sir?
Can you hear any of us, Troy? Troy.
I heard you say, "Can you hear me?" That's all.
Oh, okay. All right, let me jump in here real quick because you said you want to be on a half an hour. We're coming.
It's breaking up really bad, sir.
Okay. How about everybody else? Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay,
well.
good. All right. I tell you what, Troy, we're coming up on a half an hour. So if you want to stay on a little longer, let us know. All right. Did you hear me? We can see you, but we can't hear you, Troy. I just think it's a delay. All right. See if you could move for us or do something and come back in.
About a half hour.
You going in and out now, Troy?
Yeah, it's just a real bad connection. You mean move to a different building?
I heard you say something about the building. There you go. Go ahead and say something now, Troy.
Move to a different part of the building?
Yes, sir. Okay, you sound good right there. You sound good right
There we
there.
go. Can you see me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was telling you that we're coming up on a half an hour. If you want to continue, we'll go ahead and continue. But
He's
but
gone.
if you have to leave, okay, he's gone. Okay, he'll be back. Technical difficulties, brother, as you all know, because you have more experience than me. These things happen. These things happen. We all were asking some good questions.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's just comes when you're doing a live show. It just come with the territory. Ain't it right, Coach Malachi?
Yes, it does. You on mute, Coach?
Yeah, I muted myself. Yeah, absolutely. When you're doing a live show, you just kind of prepare for everything. Like, again, I'm even able to take phone calls now, so I'm just
Okay. All right, go ahead and say something, Troy, for us. Let me hear how you sound. I can't hear you.
1, 2, 3. Are y'all still there?
Yes, sir. We're still there.
Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What?
Can you hear us all?
Everything looks good? I can, yes, sir.
Okay, good, good. I was just letting you know that it's coming on.
I can.
You can't hear me.
It's a delay, Troy.
No, sir. It's breaking up real bad.
Okay.
You want to call in instead?
You mean
Troy.
call on my cell phone?
Yeah, you can call in, Troy.
Yes, sir.
Coach, you said you can take a call.
Yeah, we have a call-in number, and you could.
What's the number?
Coach, Coach or Mark, what's your call-in number? Honestly, I could text him your call-in number if you want to do it, Mark.
I'm doing the simulcast over here. I don't think I can have the.
Okay.
I can't do that on this one while I'm doing the simulcast. Go ahead, Coach Malachi. Your mic's muted. You trying to give him the number?
No, I won't be able to do it right now because I'm not simulcast.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Okay. Well, look. Let me end my simulcast and we can go on. We can take the calls. 678-381-1938.
I'll text him the number, Mark. I'll go ahead and text it to him.
I can hear all of y'all perfect now.
I'm going to text you the number, Troy.
He said he can hear us now. He said he can hear us though.
Okay. All right, Troy. It's coming up on. Yes, sir. We can hear you perfect. We can hear you perfect. Okay. So how much time do you have? Because you said you want to do a half an hour, and we're pretty much coming up on a half an hour. So you good to stay longer?
I can stay longer, yes, sir.
Okay, good. We'll stay for a few more minutes, and let me just throw my question in there. Coach already started. I used to watch you fight, and you used to be in some wars, like I said, with Kevin Kelly, and he threw a lot of punches. Paez, he was energized. He had a whole lot of energy like you. How exactly did you train? Because I've never seen you tired in the ring ever. And back then you were still doing 15 rounds, right?
Actually, it was 12.
It was 12?
But I did. Yeah, it was 12-round fights in boxing when I fought for world titles and some other fights when I fought Kevin Kelly. I was born with those long good lungs, and then I trained myself. I really trained really hard. I don't know if you heard this saying before. Have you heard train hard, fight easy?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I usually ran 3 miles once a week. Sometimes I would run 6 miles, but mainly it was just, and I would always time myself. I try to beat the time before. Sometimes I didn't do it. Sometimes I did do it, but I would usually spar when I was training for a world title fight. I would spar 9 4-minute rounds, because 9 4-minute rounds is 36 minutes of fighting. And just like if you're fighting 12 rounds, that's 3 minutes right there. So it's 36 minutes of fighting in 12 rounds. So I would usually fight 9 rounds when I trained for a 12-round fight. And also I sparred bigger guys. I sparred Gene Hatcher, the former WBA champion, and also some other bigger guys. But that's what I did most of the time. And I just trained hard. Train hard, fight easy. I don't know if I got that saying. So of course the fight's never easy, but it's kind of a that's the deal. You train hard, and your fight's gonna be a lot easier if you do train hard.
Yes, sir. Because trust me, I used to watch those fights, and I used to get tired watching them. Because you and Kelly and Kevin Kelly used to throw a hell of a lot of punches. Now, there was a fight that I think that you threw the most punches in boxing. Is that right? At the time, I think you threw the most punches in boxing. What fight was that?
Yeah, that's when I fought Kevin Kelly. I threw 1,527 punches in 12 rounds. I threw like 157 punches in the 11th round. And guess who won the fight?
Kevin Kelly. So
Kevin Kelly. So I don't know. Some people think I won. Some people think he won, but he threw like 1,200 and something punches, 300 punches less. So I fought him in New York. So, anyways, that's the wall. That's the way the ball bounces. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. It's just the way it went. It all happened for a reason. And I know I did my part, and that's all I could do. My parents taught me, do your best, and you don't have nothing to look back on. And that, I mean, I was upset that I lost the fight to Paez. I was upset that I lost the fight to Kevin Kelly. But what could I do about it, really? I just got to get back to the gym and start working again on improving my skills and getting in shape.
yes, sir. I got one more question for you before I pass you back to brother Marq Nash. We're gonna wrap it up after you speak to Coach again. But you had a pressure type style. How you fought? You applied a lot of pressure, and you were good on the inside. Where did that all come from when you transitioned from the martial arts world? Because that's not something you see a lot, like in the martial arts world. That pressure and that fighting on the inside is usually outside stuff that you do, right?
Yeah, because you have to kick, but I was a pressure fighter too when I was kicking. So, and usually you had to fight, you had to kick at least 8 times around. But yeah, that's just kind of I was just naturally aggressive, and that was my fight, getting on the inside, pushing them and laying on them and pushing them more and laying on them, and then, yeah, just wear them out. That was my goal. So to make it tougher for them to fight me was because I just put my head in their chest and camped out there for 12 rounds.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Okay, brother Mark, we want to pass it on to you, and then we're gonna pass it to Coach, and we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Dorsey, you faced Kevin Kelly, you fought Jesse James Leija, Oscar De La Hoya, some of the biggest and the best, right, in the business. Some of those fights you were victorious, some of those you came up on the short end of the stick. Pardon me. Who was the hardest puncher you think you faced in boxing and also in martial arts?
But in kickboxing, martial arts, the strongest puncher was a guy that I fought. His name was Alexei Nechayev. He was from Russia. He knocked me down I was knocked down twice in kickboxing matches. One time in Paris and one time in Las Vegas when I fought Alexei Nechayev, the hardest puncher that I ever fought in kickboxing. He was from Russia, and in boxing, I never got dropped. I never never got dropped. But I did take a knee when I fought Jesse James Leha. So he and I fought, and he was we were fighting hard on the inside, and he hit me with an uppercut, and he already cut me. I actually got 5 cuts in that fight. It was only 5 rounds long, so I got a cut across top of my eye here, a cut here, a cut here, and a cut here. Anyways, he hit me right on that cut on my left eye, and it hurt so bad. I took a knee for that fight because the pain was just so terrible. So James Leha, and I guess it's a combination between him and Oscar De La Hoya being the hardest punchers. I did get punched hardest by James Leha. He and I are friends now, and so I'm glad and happy to say that. And then De La Hoya, he was so fast. I fought him, I think, at 132, 33 pounds, but he was so fast. He was a very hard puncher. I only lasted 1 round because they stopped the fight because I was cut in the first round, and I just knew that they stopped the fight because he's the golden boy, right? He just won the Olympics, and they're watching who he fights, and they're building his record because I was a former world champion. So I just knew that when they stopped that fight, that it was because of who he was. But I went in the dressing room, and there was a 2-inch gash across my eye here. It was a horrible, terrible cut. And when I went to get it stitched up, I fought him at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. So when I went to get that cut stitched up, the doctor in the emergency room said, "There's a surgery that you can have." And what they do, they cut you from here, see where my ear is, from here, all the way across here. They pull the skin down to the edge of your eyes. They shave the bones, and they put the skin back up, and that helps with the cut problem. So I actually had that. I fought De La Hoya in '94, and then in November of '94, I had that surgery where they shaved these bones. And then I fought in '95, '96, '97, '98. I got cut again. Plus, I was 35 years old, so my wife and I decided it was time to hang up the gloves, which is very, very difficult. But I had been cut so many times. I don't know if y'all watched many of my fights, but yeah, with Leha, I got cut a lot. De La Hoya cut me. Who else? Jorge Paez, I had 5 cuts when I fought him too. The second time I fought him to the draw, I had 5 cuts. So I had lots of cuts during my career. So it was just, like I said, I was 35 and I won 2 world titles in boxing. I won the IBO world title too in '97 against Jimmy Burdell. Have you heard of Jimmy Burdell?
Yes,
he
sir.
fought De La Hoya. Yeah. So, anyways, I won the IBO title in Denmark.
So, I'm sorry.
Against him.
So, my last question before I pass to Coach Malachi is this: you're a 5-time kickboxing world champion. You're a 2-time boxing world champion. You said you won. You had only been in martial arts for 2 weeks before your father put you guys in the tournament, and you won that. When you look back at your career now, you're like, wow, I kind of did a lot of different things. What is the most satisfying victory for you? Because some guys, I hear them say, hey, man, it wasn't even the title shot. It was the one I won in the amateurs. It's the Olympic qualifying. Some people, it's the first fight they won in 5 years old because that let them know they were good. For you, though, Mr. Dorsey, what was the most satisfying victory of your career, whether kickboxing, martial arts, amateurs? Elaborate and tell us why as well, please.
Well, the fight that really made my career is that I won the world title in boxing. So yeah, it was a world title, and that was after fighting Jorge Paez twice. I fought him twice to a split decision, once to a split decision, February 4th, 1990. Then July 8th, I fought. So February 4th, I fought him on NBC for the world title. I lost that decision, a split decision. And then I fought on the undercard of Paez fight when he fought Louis Espinoza. I fought Bernardo Pinango. I knocked him out in the 7th round. And I said, Jorge Paez, you're a coward if you don't fight me now. You know, I want another fight. I want to shot the title. So July 8th, I fought him. And that was the draw. And the time I got cut 5 times. And then the following year, I fought at the end of that year. And the following year, I was the number 1 contender. And I fought Alfred Ron Hill. I knocked him out 2 minutes and 37 seconds in the first round. And that was the I think the greatest fight that, I mean, I was the first person to win the world title in boxing and kickboxing. So that was my goal. And I finally reached that goal. And that was the most, what did you call it? What did you ask me?
Most satisfying victory, sir.
That was my most satisfying victory because it was just very, very satisfying. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Back to you, Coach. Thank you again for your time, Mr. Dorsey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Troy. I got a couple quick questions for you. How was the business like when you was a boxer? Like from a business standpoint, meaning dealing with promoters, getting paid the proper money that you felt like you should have been paid. How was that like for you started boxing?
Well, I fought for David Gorman, and he was my manager, and Casey Malone was my trainer. And it seemed like it was, you know, there's a lot of money involved. So at times there was some situations where the money talked. And that's just when you got so much money in the way, or not necessarily in the way, there's so much money at stake, then there's a lot of people want that money. But you know, so just like anything else, when you got a lot of money at stake, then you got a lot of people doing whatever they can do to make that money or to keep that money. So I don't think, of course, I could complain about me not getting paid enough, but yeah, I didn't get paid as much as maybe I could have or should have because of just because of where I came from. But I took the opportunities that I received and just gave the very best shot that I could. I fought 14 world champions in my boxing career. So I fought Manuel Medina. I got cut several times by Manuel Medina. He was something else. I don't know. He was a really a good mover, and I knocked him down in the 2nd round, I believe. But he came back, and I couldn't hit him after that 2nd round, pretty much.
Okay, and another question. I have 2 more questions. What was the business like in kickboxing?
It was similar. You know, it's similar. You just had to fight for everything. You got to scratch everything that you can get for yourself. You know, and it wasn't as much money, of course. So there wasn't like the boxing. But at the same time, you know, everybody's trying to make all they can, whether it be the promoter, the manager. My manager charged me 20%. No, he charged me 25%. My manager charged me 25%. Most managers make 3.33%. So I paid my manager 25%, David Gorman, and I was happy with that. And looking back on it, I'm still happy with it. And I paid my manager 10%. My cut man 2%. My cut man was Ron Hatcher, who Gene Hatcher's dad. He was a great cut man, and he was busy when he sat in my corner for sure. So
okay,
go ahead.
No, sir. I have one more question, and another thing I wanted to ask you was this. So can you please break down? And maybe it was different then, but like what would be a typical per split? Like, let's say you make $100,000. Say your manager wants 25%. Of course, you got to pay the IRS. You got to pay your corner, your cut man. After everybody gets paid, depending on how many hands in the pot, what percentage of your purse would you say that you will walk away with?
Probably about 50%.
Okay,
Yes,
50%.
sir.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I have, Troy.
Okay, thank you, Coach. You know what, Troy? That's actually a good number because I know there's a lot of fighters today that would take that 50% because they're not getting that. They're definitely not getting that. Yeah, times are rough, but let me tell you something. I don't use the word legend a lot. It gets thrown around a lot today, but I don't use it a lot because it just doesn't apply. But when I said that you were a legend when you first came in, I definitely mean that, man. I want to thank you for your time and thank you for coming out. And I don't know any other man that actually has accomplished what you did. Do you know someone else that's actually come close to accomplishing what you did, coming from martial arts? Okay, well there you go. That's why that's why I called you a legend. That is why. That is why, because it applies. Okay, but I just want to tell you, man. No, yes, thank you. I just want to tell you that you do have a social media home right here with Major Key Boxing. We appreciate the time that you gave us, and we understand that you're busy. So anytime you want to come back or just be and talk about who are you training. As far as training, are you training any boxers or are you just strictly, sticking to martial arts now?
I have trained some boxers and kickboxers, but I opened up a karate school in 1981, October 81. So I'm celebrating 40 years in business this October.
Okay.
I have a karate school in the historic downtown Mansfield where we teach a kickboxing style of martial arts. You can spar or you don't have to spar, but it's self-defense and kickboxing. Really is working out good. I have an organization called Troy Dorsey's Kickboxing Organization. If anybody's interested in teaming up with us or need some information on curriculum and how to run and how to operate a kickboxing school, that's what I'm doing, teaching people how to do that now.
How can people find you online if they want to be a part of that?
Just go to Troy Dorsey Karate. Let's see here. Yeah, just go to my Troy Dorsey Karate page. Yes, sir.
Is that Instagram or Facebook, Twitter? Where are you at?
I'm Facebook, Troy Dorsey, my personal page, or Troy Dorsey Karate. Either one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Troy. And we enjoyed having you out. And I could tell by the folks in the chat that they enjoyed themselves too. Just the last question. Someone wanted to ask me if you ever fought Gotti, but that was before your time. Gotti came in after you, right?
Yeah, he was heavier than I was.
Yes, he was.
He was an amazing fighter. That's so sad what happened, but yeah, he was one of my heroes. He was a little bit later than me. He was I think when I was finished fighting is when he started fighting. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember Arturo Gotti. He was a machine, and he had lots of power too.
Yes, he was. All right. Well, thank you very much, brother. And you stay blessed. And anytime you want to reach out, you want to come back and you want to talk some more, we will definitely be here for you. Thank you.
Well, let me know. I'm ready to go when you guys are ready to go. We'll talk about something else. I'm not too much into what's going on in boxing right now, but I'll be happy to join you guys. Thank you. It was a rough start today. We had people going off, people coming on. It wouldn't stay on, but now everything is smooth, and I can understand everybody. Y'all can understand me. So it was rough to get started, but praise the Lord that we got through it. Jesus Christ helped us get through this, and He's in charge of everything that goes good. And this was good.
Thank you very much.
Amen to that.
Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
Can you give me a call? Can you
give
me
a
call?
Mm-hmm.
Are we still on the show now?
Yeah. We're still on the show.
Well, my Troy School phone number is 817-477-5523. So if anybody's interested in getting martial arts training or kickboxing training, then they can call that number. And
You got to tell them where you are also, Troy. Where's the school located?
It's in the historic downtown Mansfield, Texas. It's just south of Fort Worth, about 20 miles south of Fort Worth. 115 North Main Street, Mansfield, Texas, in the historic downtown Mansfield.
Okay, I just followed you on Facebook. I see your picture, and I sent you a friend request as well.
Oh yeah, what's your name?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're Mark with the Q.
No, that's Coach Malachi.
I'm Coach Malachi Williams, the one with the Jesus shirt.
Coach Malachi.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at the wrong guy. Okay, I like that. I like that name Malachi. Man, that's a biblical name too.
Yeah, last book of the Old Testament.
Yes, sir. You know it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Troy.
Bless
thank
you, guys.
And God bless you.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right,
Goodbye.
sir. Thank
Goodbye. Yeah, y'all make some noise. What an
Okay.
interview, man. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
817-775-993. Troy Graham, call me. Or any guys you can call me, but I guess Troy, you're the leader, right?
you. You say, well, yeah, I'm the leader tonight. Yes.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
You're a team, right? There's no
Yes, sir.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
we
sir.
have a team, and we all have our own platforms as well. I have a show that's actually about to start in about 15 minutes, and we're going to talk about this show that we had here. Coach Malachi has a show. He goes live at 3:00 Sunday through Friday, Sunday through Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, Sunday through Friday, 3:00, 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Miami, Florida, so I'm an hour ahead of you because you're Central Standard Time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
So
Yes, sir. And I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but I was stationed in Texas when I was in the Army at one point. But yeah, we're gonna link up. This is not gonna be the last time you hear from us, Mr. Dorsey, because I'm sure you have a lot of stories and a lot of war stories that you can tell us that we didn't get. We couldn't get it all in right now, especially with the poor connection. But it truly warms my heart to hear you say, "Hey, you had a good time and you're willing to come back." So we're gonna take a bite out of that apple sooner than later. We'll definitely be calling you back.
Okay. Thank y'all.
God bless you, my brother.
Thank you.
Bless y'all too.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir. What a show, what a show, what a show, what an interview. How did you guys feel about it? I thought it was amazing. Thought he was very candid about his drug use. He was very candid about how he feel about marijuana, fights he thought he won, fights he lost. What do you guys think?
Outside of the connection issues, yeah, it was pretty good. I was definitely interested in like how you know what I mean, like just trying to train that leg and martial arts. Even though he does kickboxing, but I look at MMA and I just can understand just looking at it from a physical standpoint. The MMA is a lot harder than boxing. It's just a lot harder than boxing, in my opinion, because you have too many things that you have to defend and too many things you have to prepare for, and then to me it's just too much. That's why you don't see too many boxers going to the MMA and trying to throw their hat in there. So that's how I see it, anyways.
Yeah, I just think that, when I first reached out to him, I was surprised that he asked me why we're reaching out to him. Because, but look, based on his record, even though, it's not pretty when you look at it, but if you know the history of the man, it's actually very powerful what he did. The transition from martial arts as a 5-time champion and then come over here and become a 2-time champion. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that. I don't know anybody.
Troy, that's crazy, bro, to get into, first of all, to get into martial arts and win your tournament and 2 weeks in. He was born to fight,
right.
Bro. Some shit you just,
he
some
was.
things you just can't teach. Those are the intangibles. Same thing with Tyson or something. Now, I'm not saying he's a Mike Tyson, but wow, bro. Sometimes when you look at somebody's box record and their professional record, it doesn't tell the whole story. A lot of times you just see the numbers, wins and losses. Man, you got to go through that, see who they fought, when they fought them, but also how they won those fights, where they were in their career. And sometimes just that zero It's a lot. Look, man, I can go fight tomorrow and have a 1-0 record. I retire undefeated, 1-0 though. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's, man, he fought Jesse James, Leon, Oscar De La Hoya, Kevin Kelly, like, and the list goes on, man. So he took some tough losses, man. But like he said, he did abuse his body at times in between fights, before fights, immediately after fights. So, yeah, I definitely want to talk to him about that more when we get him back over here. But man, what can I say, man? This was somebody said that was quick, man. It was 45 minutes. We only had 30 minutes.
It was
actually about 50 minutes. Yeah, he gave us almost an hour.
Yeah,
but 30 minutes. I'm sorry, Troy.
No, but I was saying I used to watch him fight in those fights with Kevin Kelly. That's how I knew exactly who he was. And I wasn't lying to you. He never got tired and he never stopped punching. He just found that space where he would lean on you and punch until the bell rang. He never got tired. Never. I didn't even see him, the man just never got tired. And he threw 1,500 punches in one fight. 1,500 punches in one fight.
I just want to echo that. That's insane. I don't know if that record's been broke yet. That's crazy. And for the people who are asking, did Chris Byrd come in? Something came up. He wasn't able to pull up, but we're gonna reach back out to him and reschedule. I do apologize for that being on the thumbnail. It was not clickbait. We had it scheduled. Something came up, but I'm glad we're able to do that separately because this definitely needed its own time in Chris Byrd's career. Is very storied as well, as you guys know, and he deserves his own time too. So I'm not mad at all.
Right.
I'm not mad at all. And we still love Chris Byrd, and we can't wait for him to pull up and do his thing and chop it up with the boys. But I'm about to slide out over here, and I'm gonna get ready to start the after party over there. We're doing the weekend recap. The thumbnail says, should marijuana be legal in sports? I want to know what you guys think about it over there as well. But we're gonna talk about everything that happened this weekend. But I had to put something on the thumbnail. So and that Sha'Carri Richardson video I did, man. Shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson, man. Golly, it's a very polarizing subject. Either people are all for her or some people are against her. I'm like, man, we can still support you and got love for you, sister, but you dropped the bag and dropped the ball. You dropped the bag and dropped the ball.
She made a bad decision. Yes, she did. Oh, yeah, she
actually, some would say she picked up the bag and rolled it up. I'm joking. Too early. It's too early. We got all night, though. I love y'all. I see y'all over there. Marq Nash breaking beats, hopefully. If God wills it, right? So thank you again for your time.
Don't forget you.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, and my last thing, if everybody watching right now, can everybody watch? I don't know how many people watch it. If everybody can send Major Key $2, just send them $2. That ain't gonna break you. Send them a $2 donation to $ Major Key Boxing. Major Key Boxing at Cash App. Again, that's Major Key Boxing. Everybody watching now, send my brother $2 for the donation for this great content, man. And I see y'all over there at Breaking Beats. It's your boy Marq Nash. Peace.
All right, absolutely.
All right, Mark.